Somebody has run out on the field. Some goofball in a hat and a red shirt. Now he takes off the shirt. He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. He's bare-chested and banging his chest. Now he runs the opposite way. He runs to the 50. He runs to the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. The 20. They're chasing him. They're not going to get him. Waving his arms. Bare-chested. Somebody stop that man. Oh, they got him. Oh, they got him. They're coming from the left. Oh, they got him. Bang, bang, bang in his chest. Bang, bang. The guy is drunk.
Welcome to Fantasy and Chill Week 4. I'm your quarterback, Ryan Keller, joined as always by Ethan Hargrave.
What's up, man? 4-0 feels good. Feels good, man. Juggernaut.
I don't want to talk about it. Not good for me over here. And behind the glass, my opponent this past week, we got producer Matt.
Ooh, feels good. 3-1. Juggernaut in our league. Kind of. I beat Ryan,
Not
so
the
whatever.
juggernaut at all, but
Hey, I'm
you know,
first in
whatever makes you
points.
feel better.
I'm first in points.
Yeah. I guess. Whatever that means.
Tell me
You're
how my
first in my heart, Matt.
Thank you. Tell me how my ass tastes, Ryan.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Too far, man. Uncalled for.
It's a meme.
Hey, tell me how that playoff felt last year, bitch.
Okay. Well, I don't live in the past, so
So Matt and Ryan played each other this week, and
in case you haven't
Ryan
figured it
scored
out.
Valiant 125, but it wasn't
I had a
enough
good
for
week, but Matt's team went full retard, so
Matt's big dong over here. So laying the hammer down
All right, let's
on.
not give him too
on-
much credit. Let's go straight into our fantasy studs here. First, probably the first time we've ever
Fantasy
put him in the
studs.
stud list. It's his second year in the league, but we have Michel Trubisky, 19 of 26 for 354 yards and 6 touchdowns. Also added 3 rushes for 53 yards. I gotta say, when we watched the game on Thursday night, and we'll talk about our second stud here in a minute. But after that performance, I mean, I thought there was no way that anybody was passing that up. And of all people, Trubisky, really?
If you would have said to me, "Hey, Tits is gonna be throwing for 6 TDs," I'm gonna throw him in my lineup. I'd say you're
Idiot.
You're crazy, man. Like, wow, you're a fucking idiot. But joke's on us, I guess. You know, if you did that, if you put Trubisky intentionally in your lineup while there was other
DFA.
choices out there, then you need to go to Las Vegas right now and put that good luck to use. You know, for good. You know, 'cause, man, holy shit, who saw that coming? Really?
I mean, I saw it coming last year. I've been trying to tell you about my
I was
boy.
about to say this is Matt's boy. Matt's always liked
kind
old
of.
Trubisky, but is this anything that we can look at going forward and think that he can do anything close to this at all? Or
No,
is it just kind of a once in a lifetime game?
this is a once in a Buccaneers game.
Yeah, let's chalk it up to the Buccaneers having
So
a
you're
really
attributing it
shitty
straight to
defense.
that Bucks D?
Yes,
That's
all.
secondary. Oof.
Yeah.
While we're on the Bucks, I don't have them anywhere on the agenda tonight, but I mean the magic's over, right? It's done.
We kind of have him on the agenda. We'll be talking about Jameis later.
A little bit, but I mean he was a fixture on our fantasy studs here for us not to talk about him this week is a little strange.
And I just want to point out again that I said about 3 weeks ago, this is his real test when he plays Chicago. And look what happened.
He failed.
He failed, but so did Winston. So
Did you see
That's
that
true.
interception that Winston threw?
It's so bad.
Did somebody hit his arm or something?
It's
It
full
was
of
just
crab
like
legs,
the
man.
Worst floater I've ever seen in my entire life.
he's just
Yeah, well,
Anyways,
Like Matt
that
said,
team's a
we'll get to
dumpster fire.
Jameis a little bit later. Let's move on to our second fantasy stud. This we were talking about in that Thursday night game, the thriller last week. We had Jared Goff, 26 of 33 for 465 yards, 5 touchdowns, and then 7 yards on the ground. Now this is more of like, I think what we not exactly this a 40-point game every week, but he's up to QB4 now. And last I checked, he was still available in our league. I assume he'll be gone this week finally, but I mean, this is a guy you can start every week that you can depend on, you think, Ethan?
Oh yeah, he's a solid QB. I have him in one of my kind of toss away leagues, but yeah, he's a really solid QB with a lot of upside. I wouldn't expect for big boom potential every week just because Gurley's there, but he definitely has potential to, to have high scoring, 30 games, 30 plus games. He's definitely. I think he's got a safe floor too. I think.
Oh yeah, with the nature of their offense, how explosive they are, like I feel like he's guaranteed 20 points every week.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'd rather have him than Aaron Rodgers at this point.
Ooh, that is a call right there.
Aaron Rodgers owner.
Oh.
So that's the frustration kicking in there.
Well,
relax.
Too, oh,
so
I'm relaxing.
Play Aaron Rodgers. You got Matt Ryan. You're good.
Yeah, we're good. We good.
Yeah, it didn't affect me at all because I was debating between Jared Goff and Dalton this week. Talked to Ryan about that before, I think the podcast last week or something. Ended up going with Dalton. I still got the win, so I'm not too salty about it, but God, if I would have had Goff, I wouldn't have to sweat it all.
And Dalton still had a good day.
Yeah. But he didn't have a 45-point day or a 43-point.
A Goff day.
Yeah, and this was the one game I was kind of worried about with Goff because it was Minnesota, which was the reason I didn't pick him up. But he proved me wrong.
I think he is the entire Rams offense is pretty much matchup proof. So
pretty much.
Yeah. One thing I would worry about is their defense is so good that maybe they don't need him all the time, but I think he'll be all right.
Their division's so weak.
Yeah.
That they might be in some games where they're up really big and just
might just be Gurley. Yep.
Our running back studs, I feel like is just a tribute to Ethan here. Both of these guys.
I didn't even think about that.
Probably Ethan 1A and 1B in his heart. So we'll start with Alvin Kamara, who, I bet I can basically just pencil him in every week here as his number one stud. I think he's been the number one scorer 3 out of the 4 weeks for running backs. But he was 19 rushes for 134 yards, 3 touchdowns, 5 catches for 47 yards. So the thing that stands out to me here is last week it was all in the air. I think, what did he have? 9 catches for like 150 yards or something? Wait, I have it right here.
I thought it was 15 catches.
15 catches for 124 yards.
He didn't even have any. He didn't even have a touchdown.
No touchdowns last week. This week he does it all on the ground. 134 yards on the ground and 3 rushing touchdowns. I mean, golly, he's ridiculous. We say it every week. He's a freak. So the one question I will ask you, Ethan, what?
No, he's going to regress this season. Remember?
Who said that?
Everyone before the start of the season, like, oh, there's going to be regression. There's going to be regression. He's still going to be good, but there's going to be regression.
He's improving.
So, Ethan, I'll ask you this. Are you worried with Mark Ingram coming back this week?
Not at all. Not one bit. Why would I be? It's Alvin fucking Kamara. It's Alvin, nothing personal, kid Kamara, okay? This guy's a stud. He's going to be featured. He is the most explosive, one of the premier offensive talents in the entire league.
The most explosive player in the league.
I'm trying to be modest here.
No, I don't want you to.
Okay, this guy's disgusting. Nothing's going to stop him. He's going to help you win a championship. Hands down.
That was Austin making an appearance in the background.
Oh, I didn't even see him.
Oh, he's passing back by.
Yeah, apparently Kamara met with Ingram, or Ingram was at the airport or something, and then Kamara's like, oh, it's about to get ugly now. So I guess he's accepting Ingram's comeback, and they're just going to dominate the running game.
I'd actually
say, oh, man, fuck this guy. I don't want him coming back.
I actually welcome Ingram coming back because I think
Matt, what you drinking over there?
They complement each other very well. So,
a little old fashioned?
No, just a little whiskey.
Just a little neat.
Okay.
Are you drinking it neat here, bud?
Sure.
Sure.
We don't need to spend any more time on Kamara. We've said enough.
Are you sure?
Unless
you go grab the jersey.
Or Ethan, how about you film like an hour tribute episode just on yourself, and we'll just play it one week. Why don't you do that?
I might.
Do you have any more poems you can write?
We'll wait till the 6-week mark. See what happens.
So you hear that? Everybody look forward to that. You got an Ethan original coming at you.
An annual poem.
Next on the list, if you remember, if you were an avid fantasy and chiller last year, You know all about Ethan and his love-hate relationship with our next stud, Ezekiel Elliott. 25 carries for 152 yards. Also added 4 catches for 88 yards with a touchdown in the air. And this was his best game of the season so far. Finally had like the big output we were waiting on. So do you think he gets it going moving forward, or does he kind of go back to like the 15-point range?
15 points. Only because I just feel like they're going to depend on him so much. And I think any defensive coordinator that's worth their salt is going to realize, hey, this guy is the entire offense.
Well, this week he is playing the vaunted Texans defense. So
they are.
Oh, well.
Well, in that case.
Plus. Wasn't looking at the schedule. My bad, Chief. Mark him down for 20 plus this week.
Start him.
Keep in mind,
the vaunted Bulls on parade.
This game he just had was against Detroit. And though I am it's been known, I'm a Crow fan. Detroit did give up 100 plus yards to the Crow on 10 carries, and then gave up 138 yards to Breida on 11 carries. So Zeke's good, but Detroit's also bad.
It might have been a lot to do with the defense.
Yeah, but Zeke's good too. So it is a combination of things.
All right, let's go to our wide receivers. First fantasy stud wide receiver was on my bench this week.
Fantasy stud.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper.
Nine catches for 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, and man, he looked good on Thursday night.
Man. You know what's even better is when you play him and he goes off like that, like I did. Feels good, man.
Both of your guys that you took chances on this week came through, man.
I'm just hitting.
Let's go to the casino.
Good, man. Oh, dude, I'm telling you. Yeah, he looked real, man. I couldn't believe he got open on that first touchdown that he had. It was like, 70 yards or something like that?
Anthony Barr should not be guarding him.
No, probably not.
I could have burnt him.
I don't know why they.
I'm back. Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't have an extra DB in there the entire time, because they have 3 stud wide receivers. I don't know why you wouldn't just scheme towards that. I know that Gurley's a problem, but Cooper Kupp was open by like, I don't know, at least 5. He had at least 5 yards on the coverage, and I'm sitting there going, "No flags, no flags."
Yeah, we got
this.
We got the tech.
I'm texting y'all like, Cooper Kupp, no flags, no flags. Like, could not believe it, right? Because usually when you see somebody that's that open, there's a flag involved somewhere, right? So,
just Anthony Barr trying to guard him.
He's looking good.
He is currently your wide receiver 3 on the fantasy season so far.
How do you feel about him moving forward, really, though? Because I'm a little biased. So
I'll ask you this. If you had to pick one of the Rams receivers going forward, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, or Brandon Cooks, who do you like the rest of the year the most? Because I like all 3 of them moving forward. But
that's the thing. Like,
Kupp is 3rd in targets on that team, behind Cooks and Woods.
And the thing is, all 3 of them went off last Thursday.
Yeah.
They all produced. So it's possible for that to happen.
Do you think they all have a safe floor, though?
Oh,
I guess that's
tough to give. That means you're giving 4 players a safe floor.
People involved every week.
Yeah.
Because Gurley's going to get the targets too.
Yeah.
I would pick Cooks. Just because Goff likes throwing it deep, and Cooks also catches it deep. So.
What about Kupp or Woods?
Probably Woods. Woods leads the team in targets, I believe.
Damn, I would have gone Kupp.
Oh no, I think Cooks is the correct answer, but man, Kupp, I need him to perform. So I'm
what I see from him.
I mean, if there was an offense where you're playing 3 wide receivers, this would be the one. So, or Detroit, I guess, but this one works too.
Just think, on Thursday you could have started Goff, Gurley, Kupp, Woods, and Cooks using your flex.
And Thielen, Diggs, Rudolph. There was one person that didn't go off Thursday, and guess who that was? Fucking Dalvin Cook. You gotta be kidding me. The one guy I need to go off, but We're
Well,
good.
Matt, lucky for you, you had our next wide receiver stud because every time I looked up, the Cowboys could not cover him. And God, that replay that we watched like 10 times where that safety tried to break down and tackle him and just ran right around him. But Golden Tate,
Oh, man.
8 catches for 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. This was the beginning of the end for my team on Sunday when Golden Tate decided to go off in the second half.
Yeah, he made that defense look foolish, and I was a little worried because the Cowboys secondary has been pretty good this season. The one thing they do struggle with is a slot wide receiver there. That's why I just kept my belief in him, and he proved me right. Boy, and I guess those 2 missed tackles by the Cowboys proved me right because that was god awful. Jesus,
so bad. He was in perfect tackle position, just like right in front of him, and Golden Tate's just like.
After he broke a guy's ankle before that.
Yeah, after he already made the cornerback fall, safety's just right there. All you have to do is use the sideline.
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. Everyone's probably seen it because it's gone viral.
Joel Heath, if you listen, Joel Heath, why? Why
he
did
isn't
you do that? Damn it.
So yeah, if you're playing a slot wide receiver against Cowboys, do it.
Okay, we don't usually go to our fantasy stud tight ends, but we do have a couple names that we need to talk about this week. First of all, your number 1 fantasy tight end through 4 weeks, Jared Cook, 8 catches for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. As I see Ethan shaking his head.
Can't believe it.
Oh, this is the season we've been waiting for.
How many times has we been just hoping for this? How many times have I drafted him in the later rounds thinking, oh, Jared Cook's going to be my steal this year? How many times?
Well,
the one year you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all been fooled at one point or another.
Oh yeah.
So
if you've played fantasy football, you've drafted Jared Cook expecting big things.
Drafted Jared Cook
on your team,
or you put him on your team. It was at one point or another. So I think he's kind of left a bad taste in everybody's mouth to some degree. So maybe that's why I'm shaking my head, just like. I don't know. I'm still not sold. I'm still not sold, man. Is that crazy of me to say that?
It's because you haven't picked him up yet. He's going to keep going off until you pick him up.
I'm not picking him up. I'm just not.
If I were to pick him up, Ethan, come on, man.
I got Zach Ertz. He's holding it down okay for me. I'm happy with him.
Hey, if I were to tell you at the beginning of the year what Oakland receiver would lead everything, like every significant category in receiving, who would you have said?
Well, your initial response would probably be Amari Cooper finally got shit together.
Well, it's fucking Jared Cook just doing his thing.
Amari Cooper did have a good game on Sunday.
Yeah, so next week, don't start him because he's off and on.
He's off and on.
Jordy Nelson, though, looking decent. Caught a touchdown. Back-to-back weeks.
The other tight end, we mentioned last week saying, although Garoppolo got injured, this guy had a lot of good chemistry with old Beathard last year. And George Kittle, strong, 6 catches, 125 yards, and a touchdown. So I think his value, actually goes up with old Beathard. Y'all agree with that?
The beat goes on, yeah. And
I'm not going to disagree with that. I just don't like their offense right now as a whole. But yeah. If you're going to play anybody, I mean, you might as well just go ahead and...
He's definitely his favorite target.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not playing... I hate to say this, I'm not playing Goodwin.
No, I don't think you're playing any receivers anymore.
I'm not playing Pierre Garçon.
He can't get the ball to him like Garoppolo could, but as far as just a tight end, I think he can handle that.
Yeah. I mean, that's your best bet.
I will say 82 of his yards came on one play and the touchdown, so... You got to think of that too, but I do agree with y'all that Kittle is, and Goodwin and Pettis did go out in that game. So what else was left? Him and Breida, which Breida would have got better work if he didn't get hurt like every single game. But Kittle is solid. Guess y'all agree.
Yep. Sorry, something happened in the Rockets game.
The preseason basketball. Hell yeah.
Look, it's the first preseason game, just trying to get a feel,
Just trying to get a feel, huh?
We were one hamstring away from being world champions.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty close.
Well, one LeBron away too.
Well, yeah, that too. Okay, this next section, I was telling Ethan and Matt earlier. I was gonna there's a few I guess running back situations where there's 2 or more guys competing for the touches. And I was going to put a few of them down here, and we were going to decide who we like going forward better. But then when I started making my list, I realized that I put half the teams on the list because they're just a bunch of shitty running back situations. That's the reason why if you have one of those top stud running backs this year, you're feeling pretty good right now. But anyways, here's 15 teams we're going to go through real quick. And I'm going to name the guys. You tell me who you pick going forward.
Wait.
Start off.
Would you say we're choosing between a little toss-up?
Toss it up on me.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's been a while, yeah. That was an old drop from last year.
Yeah, it's a little toss-up, I guess. Toss-up going forward. Rest of the season we're talking about here. So take everything into account that you know and that you think you're going to know, all that stuff. So we're going to start with the Chicago Bears. Everybody thought it was Jordan Howard, but this week Tarik Cohen got 2 more carries and 9 more total touches. So if you had to pick one to roster for the rest of the season, Jordan Howard or Tarik Cohen?
Howard, on a go ahead. Ethan? You're struggling?
You have both of them, right?
I got both of them.
Oh, you have both of them. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you can only play one in your flex the rest of the year. Who is it?
Man, I might, for the rest of the year, might be Tarik Cohen.
Oh. Really? Was not expecting that.
I spent a lot of draft capital
On Howard.
On Howard, man. But and I really thought he was lined up, had a really nice schedule. But the way things are going, it's like every week they're like, yeah, we need to give Jordan Howard some more touches. And it's like,
yeah, he even said that again yesterday. Oh, we got to give him more touches.
Yeah.
Well, you're not doing that. You're throwing the ball to Tarik Cohen every time.
Good news. You're the coach. You can do that, you know? So I was really, really surprised that he wasn't in the game more last against the Bucks. I mean,
especially when they were up so big, like Jesus.
If they wouldn't have scored, 40-something points, I wouldn't be so worried right now. You know what I mean?
I think that was the problem, though. That's why Cohen got so much playing time, is because they were up so big. Like, well, we can see what we got out of Cohen. Like, there was no downside to playing Cohen there.
They're saying they didn't need to play Howard to run the clock out with your number 1 running back because they already had the game won, basically.
Exactly. So, yeah. We saw the same thing last year. The first 4 weeks of the year, Cohen was going off, and then what happened? He just fizzled out, and he ended up on people's waiver wires. Like,
I mean, but I've also read stuff from the head coach being like, yeah, we're just now figuring out, how to use Jordan Howard, in the running game. What run plays are the best and all that stuff. All that's all kind of like worrying. Like, it's kind of troublesome talk to me. So I don't know, man. I should probably not say anything right now because I'm a little emotional about this.
I think this was a product of 2 going against the Bucks. Like, the Bucks defense is bad. I don't think they covered him very well. He's just like a speedy back. He's not gonna be able to handle the pounding that Jordan Howard can handle.
No, but here's the thing. I don't know if they can run up the middle. Like, I feel like they have to run stretch plays and sweeps or like use the pass game as a supplement to the running game because I don't think they're blocked. I don't think they can block that good. I don't think the run blocking is that good. That's another thing that worries me. So I'm a little worried right now.
So that was a Tarik Cohen for Ethan. Matt, who'd you go with?
Howard.
I'm going to break that tie and say Howard. I think he'll get it going.
I hope so. I really do. Maybe I'm being pessimistic, but I hope so.
Believe.
You're just too close to the situation.
Maybe I think that's what it is.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Had I played Tarik Cohen this week instead of Jordan Howard, I would have had over 200 points. And a half-point PPR.
All right, next situation, which, I mean, every year they have a running back situation. But the New England Patriots, with Rex Burkhead going out with his neck injury, Sony Michel kind of took the reins here. He had a good game. I think he had almost 20 points or so.
I did,
but James White had his best PPR output of his career, had close to 30 points.
Woo.
So you have the running game with Michel, the receiving game with James White. So if you had to pick one moving forward, you going with Michel or White?
I like Michel. I like what I see out of him.
Yeah,
I think James White's a good flex, but I think Michel could be an RB2 with RB1 upside.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, when I first saw this question, I was like, oh, it's Michel. Easily. Like, what are you even asking this question for? And I was like, what? It is Bill Belichick. So, who knows? Like, Michel just had, what, a 100-yard game, 100-plus yard game on the ground, 20-something carries. We've seen it before.
Yeah.
Or the next week they get 4 carries for,
Jonas
20.
Gray, Jonas Gray,
We
whatever
got to
his
bring it up.
name was.
Definitely come along with the obligatory fancy and chill disclaimer on
Yeah.
the Patriots running backs. Don't trust Patriots running backs. Having said that,
So,
Michel.
I will also go with Michel, but I could see in a league where you're playing PPR or half-point PPR where James White does score more. Standard, though, I think it's Michel all day.
Yeah, I'm going with Michel also.
Yeah, I tried to get him this week, and I was close, but didn't grab him, unfortunately.
Okay, next we have a 3-way situation here. The
Ooh,
Packers
that ain't good.
backfield. We've had the return of Aaron Jones. Somehow Ty Montgomery is still alive, and Jamal Williams is still kicking too. So I think this one's pretty obvious, but I'll hear y'all's thoughts on it out of those 3.
I think I said this the first time I saw him run. The first week I saw him running. Aaron Jones is the best pure runner in Green Bay. He's the best running back in Green Bay. And if you're gonna have anybody, I would stick with him. There's no reason for you to want anybody else in that backfield.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
Aaron Jones.
I also agree with Aaron Jones. The other 2, I looked at their snap percentages, like how often they've been on the field, and every single week, both their snap percentages have gone down, and Aaron Jones has gone up the past 2 weeks. So
this is about to be Aaron Jones' backfield. For good.
Yep.
It should be. He passed the eye test. Jamal Williams, poor guy, got drafted kind of high. And
With that said, shout out to Austin. It is still a Packers backfield, so don't expect them to get a lot of touchdowns or yards because that's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to just take over, but he's the back down.
Scoring rushing touchdowns with knee braces.
God.
All right, let's go to the Falcons. Tevin Coleman has been starting the last few weeks, but we have the return, hopefully. God, I need him so bad. The return of Devonta Freeman this week. So going forward, you throwing Freeman out there, or you keep rolling with Coleman?
You go first, Ryan. You're a Freeman owner.
Well, I mean, I have to say Freeman, but I will say that. So when Freeman was out, everybody was thinking, Coleman's that top 10 to 15 guy you can plug in there, and he hasn't been that guy. He's been steady, okay, but he definitely hasn't taken the role.
Well,
they pretty much just said, well, fuck running the ball. We're just going to throw it 50 times a game.
I don't think they've had a choice, though, Ryan. Have you seen the scores they've been letting up?
Their defense is pretty terrible.
Well, that's true, but it's not like they haven't been going down. They've been holding steady.
I mean, I don't know. I think, when they're both 100%, it's definitely Freeman's backfield.
Well, I hope they know that.
A nice complementary role involving Coleman. A healthy. It's kind of like Kamara. It's kind of like the Saints light almost. I'd be much more happier about the Saints backfield as a whole, but it's all has to do with Freeman's health. Point blank.
Well, he's the key to the rest of my fantasy season. I have the receivers. I have a decent number 2 running back that we'll get to in a second, but I need my number 1 running back to come through, and I need it to be Devonta Freeman. So for the sake of me returning and defending my championship, I need Devonta Freeman.
Do you hear him, Devonta? He needs to.
I'm going to write a poem for him next week.
Okay. We got 2. Shit, I need to find my poem now. I also agree. I think it's Freeman. I think he's a better runner, but I am worried about his health. I would take a look at him his week back just to make sure.
Okay, let's get to the fucking Ravens.
Ugh.
I thought, this started off so well Sunday night. I have as you know, I'm an Alex Collins owner. Started out, he caught a touchdown early. Then they got to the goal line. He was getting the carry from the 1 yard line to go in and get him up to he was going to be pushing 20 points at that point. And what does he do? He fumbles the ball on the half-yard line going in to score. So what does John Harbaugh do? He puts him in the doghouse, and he says, you know what? We're going to go back to old Buck Allen, old reliable Buck Allen. And I hate Buck Allen. Pisses me off.
The reason you hate him is the reason Harbaugh likes him.
He's so insignificant, man.
So my question was, Alex Collins or Buck Allen going forward?
I feel your frustration, man.
Yeah, fucking sucks.
It reminds me of the Dolphins. I don't even have. Are the Dolphins on this list?
They are. We'll get there.
We'll talk to him.
Well, I'll say it for that. But Jesus Christ, man, just keep your playmakers in the freaking game.
It's like after he fumbled that
it's
ball,
one fumble.
Another chance.
It's not like he's slamming your wife or anything, dude.
No.
Players fuck up all the time.
When I was playing Ryan, I saw Collins fumble and I was ecstatic because I knew they were sending him to the bench for at least a whole quarter, and that's exactly what they did.
This was early too. I mean, this could have been a 30-pointer.
Yeah, but
because then they got up and they were running the ball.
They just trust Allen so much. Allen's not gonna blow you away with yardage.
Guy with dreads that I kept thinking was Alex Collins and it wasn't.
No, Collins finally made it in later in the game, but so I was looking up and Collins actually leads all running backs in fumbles lost the past 2 seasons. I would have never guessed that.
It's always been his knock.
Yeah,
his ball security, but I mean,
I'm tired of it.
I mean, you have to play Alex Collins. You can't be worried about Buck Allen.
I have to because if you see my running back situation, I don't have a choice. But
yeah, you especially need to.
So if I'm gonna pick one, I'm picking Collins, but I think he might just be stuck being used in between the 20s right now, and then Allen's just gonna get the goal line.
He's gonna have to bust a long one.
That sucks.
All right, let's go to the Bengals. Giovanni Bernard has been a solid starter, while the real starter, Joe Mixon, has been out. Joe Mixon may be back this week, but if not, for sure next week probably. I said for sure probably. I don't know. So my question is, Joe Mixon or Giovanni Bernard?
So I don't think they're going to rush back Joe Mixon. But when he does come back, I think it's his backfield to lose.
He was clearly the undisputed number one, which is why, because I had Giovanni Bernard. I drafted him. And then after the first week when he had one touch, I said, oh, there's no point of keeping him. He's not even going to get the ball. And then, of course, I drop him, and then 2 days later, Joe Mixon gets hurt.
Rough life, man.
Nice. Could have been starting Bernard this whole time.
Rough life.
Yeah, there's a reason I didn't pick up Bernard, though.
Mixon also.
Yeah, also Mixon. I knew Bernard was only going to start a couple weeks, and then Mixon was going to come back and just take over the backfield again. But we don't know that yet. I think that's what's going to happen, so I'm going with Mixon as well.
We got another three-way here, the Browns backfield. We have Carlos Hyde, who's been doing it all year with the carries. Nick Chubb, who had the big week this week on just 3 carries. And Duke Johnson, who's always there. So out of those 3, what do you think?
Carlos Hyde. Anytime he's had over 15 touches, I think in the last 2 years, he's had at least 1 touchdown.
Now, did you see the quote from Hugh Jackson today?
Oh God, what? What is Hugh scheming now?
He was basically saying that Nick Chubb's going to get some more run out there after that performance.
He had 3 touches the entire game.
They drafted him early. Yeah, and he turned it into 105 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Hey, let me also refer you to a couple of
30
other
carries. He'd have fucking 20 touchdowns,
Is that how it
yards a
works?
game.
I forgot that's how it
Could I
works.
refer you to a couple of other great Hugh quotes.
Sure. Oh, he's got him ready.
Josh Gordon will not be starting this week. That's one.
That's
Josh Gordon will be
Tyrod
starting
Taylor's
this
my
week.
quarterback.
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's you freaking Jackson, man. Just
But I mean, they only gave him 3 carries and he did that. He's got to get some more carries now.
So, I know
Second or
you're
third round.
you're hyping up Chubb right now, but you're gonna tell me Hyde, right?
For the whole rest of the year,
Yes.
yeah, Carlos Hyde.
Yeah. I was gonna
But
say.
I don't think it's as like clear cut as we're making it out to be.
I think it's
Chubb
pretty
is definitely
clear-cut.
going to get some run.
Oh, he'll get maybe 7 touches a game, but Hyde's been the.
Hey, I bet Nick Chubb gets 10 touches this game.
Oh, they're gonna say 20. Okay, well,
ooh,
Yeah.
10 whole touches.
10 whole touches. But Hyde's been like the most efficient runner in the league.
Are you
I think-
taking my bet or not?
No, because I'm not gonna bet against Hugh Jackson. I don't know what he's gonna do.
Yes.
He might start me next game. I don't know.
Well, shit, you're showing off the guns tonight. You might get the
Oh,
call.
look at them think. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Ethan's over here, so I gotta join him. I got
He's always showing off the guns.
a basketball game
Yeah.
after the podcast, so I gotta be ready.
Sun's out, guns out.
No, I was gonna say those Hyde's has had 7 games with touchdowns straight, and he's number 10 in the league in opportunity share. So they always put him out there. And Chubb, like I said, Chubb had 3 touches last game. They're great.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be on pace guy, Matt, and he's on pace for the best year in NFL history.
Yeah, so was Will Fuller. So was Will Fuller. How'd that work out last year?
Well, Fuller's doing fine if he can just quit hurting himself.
Yeah.
Last year, what do you have? 4 touchdowns and 4 catches or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a hamstring caught him.
Will Fuller gets injured just rolling out of bed. For real. Poor guy.
Deshaun
Let's go
Watson.
to the Broncos, who we saw last night. Both of these guys had good games. Phillip Lindsay or Royce Freeman?
Ding, ding, ding.
I think you have to go Freeman, but that's by the slightest of margins.
I think Freeman's the better guy, too.
Ooh, this was a tough one for me. Because I
Freeman
looked
looked
at.
good last night. They could not tackle him.
I mean, they both kind of look good, though.
They did, but I think Freeman is more of that, the bruiser that they need.
So I think Ethan brought up like the Kamara Ingram when we were talking
Is this
about it.
Kamara Ingram light?
Yeah, I think this is the Kamara Ingram light right here, and Lindsay's obviously Kamara. It was tough.
Kamara, son.
Well, that's why I said it's a light version. It's a poor man's version. They both have like equal snap share, which at
Poverty
36.8.
man's version.
The one question I will ask is, which running back do you think could get benched first between them two?
Oh, Royce Freeman.
Yeah, right? So that's the reason I'm going Lindsay.
Whoa, okay.
But, okay, you could say that about a lot of these situations where we're picking the other guy.
No, because I think, Lindsay has more like explosiveness. He's a big play
Are you talking
potential.
about in during a game? Like if they go down big, obviously Phillip Lindsay's going to be out there more because he catches the ball.
Okay, well, obviously Booker's the third down, or the third back right there, right? So whose position would he take?
I don't think he's taking either of these guys' position.
Oh no, but if Freeman starts doing bad, Freeman's going to the bench. I think Lindsay stays in there no matter what. I'm
I
going
still like
Lindsay.
Freeman better.
That's fine.
Give me Freeman.
PPR, I'm going Lindsay.
Let's go to the Colts. Nayeem Hines, who just roasted the Texans on Sunday,
No surprise.
or Marlin Mack, who might be back this week? Question mark.
Question mark?
I'm not even putting Jordan Wilkins on here. Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
For
he's
some
terrible.
reason, I see a hot hand scenario coming in here. Gonna be the hot
not
hand.
another
One
one,
of those
please.
situations.
Please no.
This one, like, you don't even have to pick one because I mean, it's the Colts, but if you had to pick, a guy, who are you taking?
I like Marlin Mack when he's healthy.
Agreed.
I think I like Hines.
Ooh. So I think Hines benefited from Doyle and Hilton. Well, Hilton got injured kind of early that game twice.
I mean, he had 9 catches.
Who, Hines or Hilton?
Hines.
Oh yeah. So I think he got a lot of the work that Hilton and Doyle would have got. It was mostly like dump offs. That's what he's been getting. I think Mack is definitely the between the tackles running back there. So if you're drafting Hines, make sure it's, or not drafting Hines. If you're picking up Hines, make sure it's a PPR league.
Let's get to those Dolphins that Ethan is dying to talk about.
God almighty.
We got Kenyan Drake, who, I mean, everybody thought this was going to be his year. And old reliable Frank Gore still trucking
won't die
down there. So, I mean, the fact that this is even a question right now is so terrible. But Kenyan Drake or Frank Gore?
The year is 2089. Nuclear fallout has
Frank Gore
made
still
its way throughout the land.
As you pull up Red Zone on your VR device, you see Frank Gore
60
rumbling
yards
on his hoverboard.
Frank Gore's on the 2-yard line.
10 points in your fantasy league.
10 points.
Got him in the flex.
Yeah, right. This is fucking Lamar Miller, but just won't go down.
He's been the same guy for 15.
Okay.
God bless him. I hope that I'm that healthy whenever I'm his. Wait, I think he is my age. Holy shit. But
That's fine.
but
Let's
you
deal
know
with
what I
it.
mean? Look, Kenyan Drake is so explosive, and he's such a dynamic weapon.
Why don't
What
they
the
give him
fuck
the
are they
ball, Ethan?
Doing
Why don't
this
they
is
do
why last year they did the same shit. They had an inferior back. I mean, I'm not saying Gore's horrible. I'm just saying they had an inferior back. Kenyan Drake would be a starter on a lot of other NFL teams right now if he wasn't in Miami. And he's getting what? He got like 2 touches?
Yeah, he had nothing on Sunday.
Give the
They were getting their ass kicked, but
yeah, but you have to
That's the
design
thing.
Who else is on the damn offense, right?
When they were playing Oakland 2 weeks ago, I think it was close. He had 5 carries. Like,
yeah, he must be in the doghouse or something.
He must be fucking his wife. What's his name?
guys,
Gase.
right? Gase.
Whatever.
Guys
Adam Gase, that's right. God, what a knucklehead, dude.
So their center just
Oh
went
my
down
God.
too. He might be out for a while with a torn tricep. So that doesn't help him out. Either one of them out either.
Who might be out?
Their center, Miami center.
Marquise Pouncey.
Is it? Sure, we'll just go with that. I don't know who it was, but he's out with a torn tricep. So it doesn't help him out either way. But God, it's obvious.
My mind, like
It's obvious Drake is a better running back.
like okay, so they're like, hey, who's gonna be? We see that you have 2 starting running backs here listed on your depth chart. What's up with that? And it's like everybody's thinking that he's just trolling people. This gotta be a joke. It's gonna be Drake, right? Like, it's Drake, right? And he's like, apparently it's not Drake. Like,
We'll see.
yeah, he's like, oh well, we'll see. Yeah. I hope this guy gets fired. Like, I really do hope he gets fired.
That's what Miami was hoping too, but they started out 3-0. So
God Almighty. Well, I hope they go 13, 3-13. Or they just run the table in reverse.
Worst team that started out 3-0 in the history of the NFL.
I got a little soft spot in my heart for Drake, man. He helped me win my championship last year.
So yeah,
He's fun to watch.
Last year he
so
led
good.
the NFL in 30-yard carries with 6.
But just even if you're behind, you don't got to run the ball with Drake. He's a good receiver. Just get him out in the flat. Just give him the damn ball in space. Let him do his thing.
Someone's got Frank Gore on their team. It's Gase.
Somebody. went no RB in their league and had to get Frank Gore in the 12th round, and that's why he's getting played. Adam Gase.
All right, let's go to the Jets. Matt.
Why are you looking at me?
Isaiah Crowell.
It's that time.
Bilal Powell. Crowell was awful on Sunday.
Yeah.
What do you have? 4 carries for 1 yard or something like that?
I wish it was 1 yard. I think it was 0.
Crow doing crow things.
So what's up, Matt? What happened? He started out so good.
Are you gonna ask me who I'm picking or what's wrong with them?
What's wrong with him? I already know who you're picking.
No, you don't know who I'm picking.
I know who you're picking.
You don't know.
You're picking the guy that your team name is named after.
Yeah, but I don't have Powell. It could be Powell's before Hose. I'm a little worried right now because it's obvious.
He torched the Lions. He had 2 touchdowns versus the Browns. Then he goes for a goose egg versus who were they playing?
Jags, wasn't it?
Okay, well Jaguars are good, but
yeah,
still.
that's what. Okay, so I'm a little worried because it's obvious they trust him way more than Powell within the red zone. The problem is the Jets can't fucking get to the red zone, so he's not gonna get any carries on the fucking 2-yard line if they can't get there. So Powell just looks better right now in between the 20s and catching the ball. So I as much as it pains me to say, I trust Powell more right now going forward, especially in PPR leagues.
Ethan, real quick, Crowell or Powell?
Pass.
Okay.
He doesn't want either one.
Let's get through these next few pretty quickly.
I don't want either one.
This one royally pissed me off on Sunday, but so I have Chris Carson. Okay. And they said he was going to play, and he didn't play. But luckily, I was smart. Matt had dropped Rashad Penny, so I said, perfect. If Carson gets ruled out, I'll plug Penny in. He'll get all the work. I'll be fine, you know? So we're going. Sunday comes, like an hour and a half, 2 hours before the game. I get my alert. Chris Carson out with the hip. It's like, perfect. Let me plug in Penny. Awesome. Matthew Berry even said, look for Penny to get all the work today. Okay,
well, first
of all, what happens? Mike Davis gets all the carries, over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Penny gets like 40 total yards. Ugh. Why can't I just catch a break at running back?
Why would you trust the Seattle backfield at all?
Ethan, I didn't have many choices, okay? But my question is, Chris Carson, Mike Davis, or Rashad Penny?
So, they said that Mike Davis and Chris Carson are going to be splitting carries from now on. So, with that said, because they said that, I'm picking CJ Procise. CJ Procise is getting all the carries. Because you can't fucking trust anything they say.
I think you're onto something.
You play contrarian to whatever Pete Carroll says.
Apparently, Pete just doesn't want to give
He's trying too hard to be
all of his load to just one person.
Just the full load.
There's so much of a load there. He's got to split it up between 3 dudes. So.
No, but in all honesty, I would pick Carson between those 3.
Carson.
But
okay, real quick. Payton Barbour or Ronald Jones or either.
Dumpster fire.
Sure.
Don't even touch it.
Yeah, I don't even know who to like. I can't even put any thoughts together about these two to even make myself sound good.
Payton Barbour, if you're in a pinch, I can see that. The other guy.
This is his first game on Sunday.
What was he before he was a running back? I'm just curious. Because he might want to go back to doing that. Was he something different?
Talk about in life?
Was he like an aspiring astronaut? Or because this isn't working out, man. Like, maybe I'll be fooled next year or something, but maybe it's not him, dude. Maybe it's just a bad fit, but I don't want no part of that guy. If he's on your roster, blah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you must be like in a 20-man fucking league. I don't know. I wouldn't roster that guy. Waste of space. Give me another kicker.
And if you're in a deep league, I guess you can pick up Ronald Jones. But I mentioned before that in the preseason, he had more carries than he did yards. So if that ain't telling you something, then I don't know what it is.
That's a bad sign. I'm pretty sure I could suit up right now and probably pull off the same feat.
Yeah.
I think you're getting hit 5 yards in the background.
Pretty close. At least I'd be
Yeah.
close, okay? The guy has 2 more yards than I had right now in the preseason. Okay?
That's
Saying,
true.
I'll ask you this question. We talked about this a couple years ago. I don't know if Matt remembers, but I said, if your life was on the line and you had to pick one of these feats to accomplish, otherwise you die, would you choose to get a hit in a Major League Baseball game,
Oh, no.
score in an NBA game, or get 3 yards on a carry in the NFL?
How many attempts do I get?
One.
One.
Oh, I get 1? What happens if I get fouled in the NBA?
It doesn't count.
You ain't getting fouled.
Dude, I will fight for my life for 3 yards.
Yeah,
I don't give a
I'm
shit.
going 3
Give me the
yards
whole-
too.
Put me behind the Dallas Cowboys line. Put me behind the Saints line. Somebody's line. Do I get to pick the line? I can make 3 yards if my life depended on it somehow or another.
I'm going the NBA and just getting lucky on a 3-pointer.
Listen, I've seen the holes in some of these in the NFL games, and you could definitely run through them for at least 3 yards. You're getting
Also, some
blasted
defenses
afterwards.
Some of these NBA teams play.
Oh, that's true. If it's
But I guess
James
we can
Harden
agree
guarding
baseball
you.
would be the last one we would choose.
yeah. Baseball's hard.
Yeah.
Titans backfield: Dion Lewis or Derrick Henry?
Come on, man.
You know he's picking
I
Lewis.
know this Dion Lewis. Give me a break. Dion's actually been outperforming Derrick Henry. especially in
Yeah,
half
neither
point
one has been
PPR.
that good though.
No,
I
that's
think-
just a whole fault of the offense. So
I've been on Lewis before the season too, but I think Derrick Henry could be a buy low because he could be he's a super buy low right now. So
okay, I mean I'm sticking with Dion Lewis.
Okay, last one is both of these guys have been playing well this year, and they're two completely different guys. But Redskins, if you had to pick one, Adrian Peterson or Chris Thompson?
Standard Adrian Peterson PPR, Chris Thompson.
There you go, folks. That's the
Agreed.
answer.
I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I agree with it.
Simple math.
Simple man.
All right, before we move on to our waiver wire, we want to go over the teams with buys this week.
Yeah,
So
there's
that
only
is the Bears.
Saw Bears.
Bears.
Hey,
Who
you know,
else, Matt? You're supposed to have these pulled up.
I do. I have them memorized. It's the Bears and the
when the
Buccaneers.
Bears are-
I just wasn't going to mention the
Oh, the
Buccaneers
Bears and
because
Bucks, that's it.
if you got Mike Evans, then you're not playing them. Other than that,
you don't want to taste those W's. That's what a W tastes like.
yeah.
All
So
right, so let's get through these waiver guys real quick. Matt, you got our drop?
do I have the drop? Of course I do. Why stall to find it?
Waiver claims.
There you go.
Waiver claims.
High quality
First guy
content
on
on
the
the
list.
Fantasy and Chill.
If for some reason he is still available, grab him now because it looks like old Fournette's going to be out a while, or if he's not out, he's going to be banged up every week. So TJ Yeldon filling in it. Fournette went out early in the game again, so TJ Yeldon came in, had 100 total yards and 2 touchdowns. TJ Yeldon should be owned in every league.
Leonard Fournette, the running back reincarnation of Alshon Jeffries, circa 2016, 15.
Sure. I say I know it wasn't last year. Mr. Score touchdown every game.
I mean, last year he was just like defied all expectations. You know.
Yeah.
Okay,
If
so
you have
grab Yeldon
Fournette-
if he's out there.
Fournette might be out a couple weeks too because he has a hamstring and
Yeah.
Marone doesn't know when he's coming back.
Just in, Leonard Fournette will not play back to he's not going to be playing the full season when he does come back. He's going to be in and out, guaranteed.
Exactly. Also, Jaguars just I don't know if they signed him, but they worked him out. Was Orleans Darkwa? So them bringing another running back is not a good sign for Fournette.
Mr. Waiver Wire himself, Orleans Darkwa.
Waiver claim.
Right? Yeah, last year.
We just talked about this guy. Are we picking him up, Mike Davis, or are we just letting him hang out there?
He's a free agent grab. If you can find him at 3M and on your free agency, grab him. Or for $0, I would take him. But
in fact, let's hit up all these little running backs right here that we talked about. Nayeem Hines, we said had 9 catches for 63 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think he's a guy that does have some value going forward, mainly because I think the Colts are going to be throwing in a ton. I think he's a speculative ad there.
yeah, I'm not busting my load on him though.
No, you're not using a waiver on him.
No, I don't think so.
330 speculative ad.
Hilton is out this week though, from what I hear. So he might be good this week. I don't know about Doyle yet.
What about Nick Chubb?
The old Chubb.
A bunch of meh.
I'll tell you what. Might be nice to have if Carlos Hyde goes down.
That's true.
Yeah, he's definitely handcuffed.
And then
if you got Carlos Hyde, grab
you
him.
ain't gonna like it, but Ronald Jones.
No, rather have every other person you just listed, including me.
Even the Seattle backfield.
He's a deep league ad, just because there is a small chance.
32-team dynasty league.
No, like if you're in a 12-team league and your running backs are hurting, I could definitely see an ad for him, just because who knows what happens.
Just maybe.
Yeah. You don't want someone else grabbing him if he does go off.
Okay, let's talk about a few quarterbacks. We already said that the magic is over in Tampa. Jameis Winston is back. He'll be starting after the bye week. Jameis Winston last year, his last 6 games had 250 yards or more in all 6 games. Are we adding Winston?
No.
Winston is not very excited about the waiver guys this week.
No, I'm not.
Waiver?
I'm just sitting here thinking about how I wish there's a couple of coaches that I hope get fired before the end of the season, and one of them's in Tampa. But yeah,
I still think
the other one being Bill O'Brien. Another one being Adam Gase.
How about Derek Carr?
Eh.
He's had over 300 yards in 3 of the 4 games.
I prefer him over Winston, but
there's so many quarterbacks out there. I think I looked today and there's 13. It was 13 or 14 quarterbacks are averaging more than 20 points per game.
I mean, we already talked about it. We could have picked up Jared Goff or Andy Dalton this week, and both of them scored over 20 points. Jared Goff scoring over 40. So if they're on your waiver wire, I'd rather obviously grab them than these two guys.
All right, what about some receivers? Geronimo Allison continues to look good in Green Bay.
Geronimo!
He's a guy that you could eventually maybe plug into that flex toward the end of the year.
Flex, yeah. I see. He's taken over the wide receiver 2 role.
Well, Cobb was out this week. But...
I say you plug him in, period.
No, but still, he's better than Cobb, I think.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I think he's a good ad.
Yeah.
What about Ryan Grant? Matt already mentioned T.Y. Hilton's going to be out. We've seen Ryan Grant have 1 or 2 good games already this year.
That'd be a spot start?
Spot
start for
If he was playing the Texans again, I'd start him. But...
Hell yeah.
How about this guy? Taylor Gabriel, 7 catches for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Bears.
He's looking
now, granted,
pretty,
he ain't going to play this week because they're on bye, but...
It's looking pretty good, but... Was that the Bucks or was that?
Was the Bucks?
Yeah.
Anthony Miller was out with a dislocated shoulder, so he's gonna come back soon. I like the way they're using him though.
Would you rather have Taylor Gabriel or Kiki Kuti?
Oh.
First game for the Texans had 15 targets, 11 catches for 109 yards, and they gave him a few end arounds.
I'd say Kiki just because the Texans, I know for sure, are going to be passing a lot more.
The fact that they had to wait for Kiki to come back to even run their offense is just so sad.
Yeah.
But it was an entirely new offense with him out there. They called all new play.
Well, they've been waiting for a slot wide receiver for this for a while. I'd definitely rather have Kiki.
They still could have.
Kiki, do you love me?
Yeah, I like Kiki moving forward, especially since Will Fuller's hurt again.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, too.
He will be hurt.
Would you rather have Fuller playing if you own Kiki or Fuller out if you have Kiki?
Fuller out.
Fuller out, obviously, but
so?
Sunday showed that all 3 of them can have good games. I mean, Hopkins went off, and Fuller and Kiki both had good games. So
I mean, they can't run the ball as a Miller owner.
They can't run the ball at all.
Their
There's
offensive
going
line
to
is
be
garbage.
enough passing to go around because the Texans are going to be behind in every game at some point.
And they don't have a
or
tight end to take any targets, so
Apparently not. Did they even have a tight end? Decent.
I think I saw Ryan Griffin a couple times.
Oh, is
I
he
got a
still on
tight
the
end.
team?
I'm in Houston.
Hey,
What about
this guy.
D.D. Westbrook? Almost got to that 200-yard mark this week that he's been promising. 9 catches for 130 yards. Old D.D. What do we think?
Crickets.
How about
330.
Taiwan Taylor?
No thanks.
7 catches for 77 yards. Waiver wire is not very deep. I'm throwing out some names here.
Oh man,
It hasn't been deep the whole year.
Really had a chance, man.
Okay, we're gonna end the waiver wire with some tight ends because tight ends kind of took a beating this week. Gronk got roughed up. What's his face? Tyler Eifert broke his leg pretty nasty.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, that was awful.
Man.
Didn't someone else get hurt? Oh, OJ Howard got hurt.
Yeah, OJ Howard out for 2 to 4 weeks.
So saying that, if this guy is, I don't know how he's doing this. He's the fantasy wizard. Old Blake in our league picked this guy up 3 weeks ago when he hadn't done anything yet. And Vance McDonald is carrying him. He's averaging on the season 16.7 yards per catch, and of course he had the nasty stiff arm last week.
God.
But Vance McDonald has turned into a guy you can plug in there and play.
Yeah,
Another team that has to pass the ball. So there's going to be some targets going around.
at this point,
Why
though,
not?
if you're looking at Vance McDonald, I would just stream tight ends every single week. Because you're probably going to have better luck doing that than picking bottom of the barrel tight ends.
We had this conversation, I remember, last year. And I don't like streaming tight ends because I feel like you can mess up every week. Where if you stick with the same guy, like eventually he's going to have that 15-point game.
He's gonna hit some point, right?
Yeah.
You could say that about streaming tight ends, though. At some point, you're going to hit one of your stream tight ends. That's going
I'm
to do
saying,
something.
what if you keep just plugging and pulling in the wrong guy? Where if you just kept the same guy in there, he'll eventually go off.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
Like that one year I had Jared Cook. He's gonna go off eventually, right?
You didn't know it was 3 years later, but
Right.
So Vance McDonald's only had 5 targets each game.
Antonio Gates had a touchdown.
Hmm.
That's all I got. He had a touchdown.
Welcome to the league
Antonio
again.
Gates things.
You know that they are going to throw the ball, and you know that Phillip Rivers likes him, so.
Him and Frank Gore.
Yeah. They're going to go down
He's
together.
a guy I could see you just start every week, and hopefully he gets a touchdown.
We said that OJ Howard is probably going to be out for a little while, so if he is, Cameron Brate, I think, is the guy that pushes into that top 10 tight end category.
Yeah, he's actually not bad when he's on the field. So.
And the last guy on my list, you saw him last night, probably your first time to ever even hear this guy's name, but Jeff Hireman
Who?
of the Broncos got
Jesus.
quite a few catches last night.
You work for
Jake
Microsoft
Butt.
or something?
Jake Butt is out with a torn ACL, and I didn't even write down his stats, but I remember just watching the game. He had a good game, so.
Oh, I got
good.
you.
Tight ends are, you know how tight ends are, so if you're feeling lucky, pick up old Hireman.
He had 7 targets, 1 red zone target, 4 receptions, 57 yards. So, not bad.
Decent game.
About 7 points there. Probably 9 points.
Okay. It's okay.
So that is all I got.
So if I had to ask y'all, one of those guys, would you spend a number 1 waiver claim on any of those, or like bust your load on Fab?
Any of these guys? If I owned Leonard Fournette, then I would do it for TJ Yeldon.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. This is like if you get the number 1 waiver wire and you're in a decent spot, let's just say you're
You're waiting for
4-0,
someone
3-1, even if you're 2-2 right now, and you're putting up points, just hold, man. Just hold.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
330, whatever you're gonna get, just 330. If it ain't there, it ain't meant to be.
All right, so that's all I got. Anything from y'all two before we sign off here? Matt, no questions on the old comment section tonight.
No, we didn't clickbait this week, so no comments.
Oh, no clickbaiting this week.
There was probably some on Instagram, but I can't pull it up right now. So just be sure we always answer questions on the weekends right before game time. So
every Sunday morning, whether it's me, usually it's Matt, or sometimes Austin grinding, answering your questions on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you get those in on Sunday morning so we can tell you who to start, because you can trust us over Matthew Berry, right?
I mean, you already said it earlier, didn't you? Matthew Berry told you to start Rashad Penny. So.
This is a great time to be alive, you know. Think about it, man.
Oh yeah.
Fantasy footballs and deep swing right now. We're just getting into the nice meaty part of the season.
Baseball playoffs is
Astros
starting.
baseball, baby. We back. Going to the playoffs. We're about to go back to back. We must defend this house, okay?
Let's go.
Basketball's getting up there. I'm ready. You know, anytime. It's a good time to be alive for sports, man.
Best time of the year.
It really is, man. This is like the weather's starting to get nice. Ooh.
Didn't we say next week we're going to be doing rankings, or is that after next week?
Next week.
Okay.
So just like we did last year at the halfway point, we did our top 5 for each position going forward, what we felt like. So we're going to do that in a couple weeks. Once we have a good idea at the halfway point, we'll be coming to you with that. Follow us on Instagram at Fantasy and Chill, Twitter at Fantasy and Chill. Subscribe on YouTube, Fantasy and Chill. Subscribe on podcast, Fantasy and Chill. Basically everything Fantasy and Chill. Track us down. We got one. Closing comments? Nope. All good?
We good. I'm good.
Yeah. Shout out to my homeboys Chris and Calvin. What's up?
Chris and
What
Calvin.
up? Chris and Calvin.
Love you.
Yeah, what's up?
So on that note, we out.
Rock 'em.